So welcome to the C-Suite of the Open Video Series with TMX Group. I'm Arnie Goldstein, Head of Company Services based out of Vancouver, and joining me today is Dan Blondel, the CEO of Nano One. Welcome, Dan. I hope you're safe and well.
Thank you, Arnie. Same for you and your family. It's great to be here. Appreciate it.
Excellent. So why don't you tell us a little bit about Nano One and where you sit in the ecosystem amongst companies that are listed on the TSX Venture Exchange?
Yeah, sure. So Nano One Materials is a technology company. We're developing process technology to make lithium-ion battery cathode materials. So we take raw materials from mining companies and processing companies like lithium and cobalt and nickel, and we mix them together into a composite material. And we have technology to improve the process costs and also the performance of the material, things like the durability of the material inside a lithium-ion battery. And then downstream of us would be a battery producer who would take our material, wrap it into a battery, and then ultimately that would end up in an automotive vehicle or a laptop or a cell phone or something like that. So we find ourselves midstream in the supply chain, in the lithium-ion battery supply chain.
So really, you're a bunch of guys in white coats running around labs doing what exactly?
So it's as a technology company, industrial technology company. We have chemists, process engineers, to some degree some physicists, and people working on mixing chemicals and raw materials and making powders out of them. Those powders then become the functioning material inside a lithium-ion battery. But we have a pilot plant that's able to make many kilograms of material, very large pieces of equipment, all the way down to small laboratory equipment. We use a lot of investigative materials like microscopes and scanning things and chemical analysis to figure out what the composition of materials are and how they behave. We also make batteries at the test level, not for production, not for sale, but really in order to evaluate our materials in batteries to see how they perform.
That's fantastic. What are some of the catalysts that positively affect your business?
So certainly as a public company, looking to build out our technology platform, and I should mention we have a licensing platform. We're developing the know-how and the people and the patents and the trademarks and the trade secrets to sell our technology into the supply chain. So we look to either the OEMs, like let's say a Volkswagen or an Apple or any of these types of large players, to actually adopt our technology, or someone in their supply chain. It'd be the people making their cells or making their battery cells or making the materials that go into the cell. So we look to license our technology into that space. So partnership is a very important catalyst in our space. So last year we announced 3 partners, very large ones: Volkswagen, Puleed, who's a large chemical producer in China, and Saint-Gobain, who's one of the largest ceramics and glass companies in the world. So they're used to making materials kind of like ours as well. And those partnerships have developed considerably over the last year. And over the next year, we will develop those partnerships to deeper relationships, which we will then be able to announce, and those will become catalysts. So development of those partnerships is really important. You should know that we are working with many of Volkswagen's peers in the space, either at the automotive level or down at the chemical level as suppliers, tier 2 suppliers, tier 3 suppliers into the automotive space. So announcing those as partners as those relationships develop is also very, very key. We will have catalysts on the revenue front moving forward. So if we strike a license deal, that I think investors should be looking to that kind of catalyst as well. As we move forward, we could start to see the emergence of a deal like that this year, although things have slowed down quite a bit, as you know, across the sector. But we're moving things along very well. And then lastly, there's always technology advancements. So we're working constantly on new processes and developing new materials, and we get new results. And those results sometimes are very announceable, and investors should be looking to us for those as well.
What are the biggest challenges that you're facing right now, and how are you addressing those?
So I think scale up is always going to be one of the biggest challenges, and getting a partner more deeply ingrained with Nano One. So we've been, as I said, we've been actively working with Volkswagen and many of their peers, and getting them into a deeper relationship requires us not only to make and test materials and go back and forth, we iteratively sort of improve the materials, but it also means we have to prove out the scale up of our materials. We can make it at the laboratory level, we can make it at the pilot level. Can we do it at a manufacturing level effectively? So putting those supply chains in place, making sure there is the right source of lithium, cobalt, nickel, manganese that we can move forward with. So these are the day-to-day business and supply chain challenges that we need to put in place, and they take time. And luckily now, with the recent financing and the backing of the federal government, we've got actually a fair amount of runway to put it all in place. But we do think that we're going to have some reasonably good advances this year that shareholders will be very happy with.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much for joining us today. We will see you on the markets.
Yeah, well, thank you, Arnie. I really appreciate the opportunity.
Great.
Take care and be well.
Thank you so much.